What's going on, guys? H-Dub here, and this is episode 3 of How to Raid. Now, in the last few episodes, we talked about some of the basics, picking up your starter champion, which one you want to get, looking at them, seeing which one is going to be the most viable, as well as completing the campaign and what to do after that tutorial. But let's get into some more specifics on how you're going to actually complete that campaign, because if you aren't investing resources in your starter the efficient way and leveling gear efficiently, using your resources to maximize your ability to get it done, then it's going to be a bit difficult. So in this video, we're going to talk about XP, resources, and everything that you can do to put yourself in the best position possible to go ahead and 3-star that normal, hard, and even brutal campaign. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is XP. Now, you're gonna get on day 1 these daily rewards, which I've already completed here, but they're gonna give you XP, and you're gonna get a chance to get a double XP boost, which you can see I have up here, right? It's gonna increase the amount of XP your champions earn in each battle, which is very important because you want to be leveling up your champion as fast as possible, which you can't do unless you run them through parts of the game. So that is campaign, that is dungeons, or you can use brews, which are seen here, to increase their levels. Some of the early missions also will provide you with a double XP boost. We get them pretty frequently in the game, and you should never run out of the XP boost. As far as your player level is concerned, you get XP for each amount of energy used. So the more energy you use, the more XP you gain, and the more you can push this bar up to get your progression rewards, which can be very helpful, especially as you push through. The rewards get a lot better. We get gems, we get books, we get silver, and we get shards. Now quickly, let's go over the resources that we have in this game. We have brews, we have chickens, we have gems, we have silver, we also have the chaos ore, which can be used to rework pieces. We have glyphs, which can be used to increase the value of your substat rolls on your pieces, which we're going to also talk about, because I definitely want to go into gear and how you should be gearing your champions. I think that is all of the resources. I may be incorrect. We also have books, skill tomes, which can be used to increase the skills of your champion, and we have potions, which can be used to ascend champion. All right, now really quickly, let's just talk about gear before we get into how you're going to use resources, because silver and energy are the most important resource. I don't know if I mentioned energy before, but energy is definitely probably the most important resource in this game, and silver coming right behind it. But let's talk about gear really quickly and how you're going to get it leveled, what you should be putting on your starter, as well as any other champion that you are going to be using to progress that campaign. So as you can see here, I've got Kale. We've got this lifesteal set on him. This is the basic lifesteal set that you get from logging in. You're gonna get a speed boot first, which I actually have on my Mountain King. I took it off of Kale, but as you can see, I have Mountain King and lifesteal as well, because lifesteal is a very viable set in the early game. You want to keep healing, you want to keep your champions in the game, in the battle, as much as possible, so that you can have a chance to actually win. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have this lifesteal speed boot, which you get on day 1 of logging in. And you want to put that on your starter champion to make sure that they can have a chance to take turns, right? Because we talked about it in the last video, well, the first video actually, about the base speeds of the champions. As you can see here, he has 103 base speed. If you don't put any pieces that have speed substats on him or the speed boot, he will be stuck at that base speed of 103, and you may come across champions in the campaign that have a higher base speed, which will mean soon as the match begins, you're not going to take a turn. They will actually go before you, and you don't want that to happen. In this game, you always want to be going first. Speed is king. But let's talk about gear and some of the substats. So as you can see, we have gear pieces here. There are 9 total pieces that you can put on your champions. You have a weapon, a helmet, a shield, you have a gauntlet, a chest, a boot, a ring, an amulet, and a banner, which you will have to ascend your champions to get. The amulet and the banner, your champion has to be ascended to 5 and 6 star to have access to those accessories. Now, weapons can only have an attack primary stat, helmets can only have HP primary stat, shields can only have defense primary stat, gauntlets can have a lot of primary stats. You can have flat attack, attack percentage, you can have flat defense or defense percentage, you can have flat HP or HP percentage, crit rate or crit damage. Same goes for the chest plate, except you can also have accuracy or resist also as a primary, as well as flat attack, attack percentage, so forth and so on. The boot is the only piece of gear where you can have a speed primary stat, so I encourage you to get speed on your boots as much as you can. If you're in a situation where you're not getting speed on a champion and you want to go attack percentage, defense percentage, or HP percentage, that works in some cases as long as you get speed is a substat on your other pieces, so your champion still has the ability to take turns before your opponents. This is very rare. Or if your champion, if you don't want them to take a certain amount of turns at all, if you want the opponent to take turns because of the mechanic of the champion and how it works, this is a very particular case, very special case. This is not going to work on all champions. It also depends on the gear set. If you're using like a counterattack set, avenging set, or some sort of counterattack accessory that doesn't require you to have speed for that champion to be effective, they'll just be counterattacking. That is where that is appropriate. Otherwise, you want a speed boot on them, which will allow them to go first. Now, let's talk about the substats really quickly. Substats are important. You want to be looking at the substats of the gear that you are putting on the champions, because those substats are also going to boost the base stats. Well, they're multiplied based on the base stats of the champion, and it will give you a better opportunity to complete what you need to complete in the game. So obviously this is a epic piece which gives us 3 substats. It's going to show us 3 substats, and we have 3 opportunities to roll them up more, right? And what I mean by roll them up more is increase the value of that substat. Now, if we click upgrade here, it shows that we have the ability to get a max of 225 base flat attack. This is flat attack, this is attack percentage. There is a difference. Flat attack is going to give them a max of just 225 flat attack, right? This 5% attack percentage is going to multiply based on your champion's base attack, not their total attack, just their base attack. So if you're trying to increase attack on a attack type champion, which Kale is, he is an attack type champion, right? He does damage based on attack. If you read his skills, he does damage based on attack, right? You can read other champion skills and they do damage based on other things. Mountain King here does damage based on HP and attack, right? Some champions do damage based on defense, and we have some champions that also do damage based on the enemy's max HP, which is very powerful. But with respect to this attack champion, you're going to be wanting to get attack on him as much as possible. Speed, HP percentage is not bad. It will increase his survivability, and accuracy as well. Accuracy is a great substat to also look for on a champion that places debuffs like Kale does. He places the poisons, right? Anyone that places a debuff, you're going to be wanting to get accuracy on them, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're just talking about getting your campaign done and how can you get your starter champion in the best position to help you do so. And that is going to be by putting out that lifesteal set on him that you get when you first start out, as well as going into the dragon and trying to progress the dragon a little bit in that first week, so you can just get some better drops, because the gear that you're going to get from the campaign is not really usable. for the most part. There are some instances where you do get gear from the campaign that is usable, one being speed. As you can see here, I have a common piece of gear. It is a speed boot, but it's also on a speed set, right? And the speed set is a very powerful set. It gives you a bonus of 12 speed for each 2 artifacts that you combine to complete the set, which I did get in the campaign, which I encourage you to get if you are struggling to get speed boots, right? And that can be found in Palace of Aravia. We will get into sets later, but let's just talk about putting your starter in the best position. But lifesteal set, right, which takes a couple days to get a full set. It's going to take you 4 days to get the full set. And you can also go to the dungeons, to the dragon's lair, try to push up at least to stage 3. Stage 4 would be better. Stage 5 on that first day would be amazing. If you could get to stage 5, give yourself a chance to get 3 and 4 star gear here that will allow you to have better gear. You won't have to wait for all the login days to get that lifesteal set, and for you to be able to gear the other champions that you're going to get from pulling shards early on. But as long as you put that lifesteal set on your starter champion and upgrade their skills in the tavern with skill books, you're going to be good. I hope I did not miss anything, but that is all you really need to progress in that campaign early. Get that lifesteal set on them, at least level it up to 8, level it up to 12. The speed boot, generally always want to be leveling up to 16. If you're going to use a speed boot on the champion, just good rule of thumb, take it up to 16. Do yourself the due diligence, get as much speed as you can, because you want to be taking as many turns as possible. But that is all you really need to know in order to beat that normal campaign early on. So thank you guys for checking out the video. I am H-Dub, and be good and be well. Hope to see you on the next one.